Hello, and welcome back to another WhiskAYE podcast, WhiskAYE podcast number 53. It's a sort of special occasion for a couple of reasons. It's been a long time since we did a Dram Team box. In real life, people will be maybe might not actually be seem like there's any difference to you guys, but we've been doing a special, a number of specials based on a
You're allowed
advent
to say what it
calendar
is. It
box.
will. I'm
Yeah,
going to say it will
it'll
go.
be
This
done.
will go up after
Yeah.
most of the advent
Um,
calendars.
But more importantly than that, this is the first of the new style of Dram Team boxes. So every other month rather than every month, slightly more expensive, but much a higher level, higher price point on each. I was going to say a higher quality of whiskey, but we all know that price point doesn't necessarily mean better. But
It's
this
true.
is more expensive, which
Yes.
often means better.
It increases the odds, doesn't it?
As much as the old black book's adage of old whiskey is good whiskey and expensive whiskey is good whiskey does not work as it does for wine. But I think the old and expensive whiskies do often have a better chance of being good.
Yes. Yeah. Generally, if you know they've got a good one on their hands, they'll up the price one.
Yeah. So the first, I'll introduce the actual box.
Yes.
So it's called Indie Cash Strength Sibling Sippers, which begins to become a bit of a tongue twister, but we're past it now. So in this box, we combine three favourite Dram Team curation classics in this ABV bomb of a box: independent bottlings, cash strength releases, and sibling sippers, which I believe. Yeah, but prepare for an unmatched array of pairings from four fabulous independent bottlers, all bottled straight from the cask without dilution as nature intended. We heartily recommend having a water dropper on standby, a bombastic slangeva. So they have said it's pairs from bottlers, but we've also
I don't think it's pairs from
identified.
bottlers.
Well, there sort of is because there's two boutiques and two dramfuls.
There is,
but then the other two don't pair up. Whereas
unless
we
they're
have
different brands on the same brand, but I don't think so. But I think there's 3 pairs there between.
I would agree that we can say that there is 3 pairs. We can explain the pairs as we go.
Yeah.
They're in the order they're in. They are paired up. I would say.
Yes. Agreed.
If Chris is listening and we're wrong, he can give us a comment and get that engagement score up.
Yep.
In
always welcome.
2027, when he'll not even remember what we're talking about.
Hey, at this time, we are on a record for a number of uploads kept to schedule.
That's good.
We've had like 6 or 7 every 2 weeks.
Yeah. We'll start running out now.
We'll
only get them every 8 weeks.
I've just uploaded number 50, so that dates this for you. Just uploaded number 50. We've got obviously this one, so 51, 52, this one, and the 4 advent calendar ones.
And in supply for making another one, we only have the next box. So
we do, and it won't be till next month that we get the next one, will it?
I don't think so. No, I think it was last month we got one.
Yeah. So it's an hard life, right?
So yeah, in 4 weeks' time, we'll be potentially have everything recorded and unlikely, but and be like, okay, well, how long have we actually got to last?
In a while, yeah, we might drop to monthly uploads because obviously 2 fortnightly uploads and a monthly drink, a 2 monthly drink is
quickly catches up. 8 times quicker, 9 times quicker on average, actually, I think. But yeah.
Anyway, let's take the edge off this hard life we've got with doing maths.
Yeah.
By having a 64.5% whiskey.
Yeah, just take the edge off.
Yeah, just a little bit, loosen up the joints. We're both old now. So this is from Dram Fool that you mentioned earlier, and it is a Macduff 11-year-old. And the card reads: we start our cast strength edition of a stonking ABV of nearly 65%. This oft overlooked Speyside single malt is much loved by blenders, but here a full maturation in Pedro Jimenez hogsheads showcases Macduff's potential. On paper a beast, but in reality a silky smooth sherried masterpiece. 11 years in a Pedro Jimenez, 65%. This is quite exciting, I would say.
Yeah. You can definitely tell it's strong.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, even before I've poured it, I'm getting like alcohol in my eyes.
Well, given that you don't really get that much cask strength stuff in Ireland, which is my most recent whiskey drinking,
It is.
this is a step up.
There was one cask strength that your cousin got.
Yeah.
The single grain at Ronco, it was like 65% or whatever. Nearly, he was like, "Oh."
He did get. Did he not get it with a? Oh no, he got it on a
He
flight.
got it on a flight, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he did. I mean, he put a little bit of water in it, but that's fair play. Can't
Yeah.
argue with that. Yeah, a lot of strength to that.
On
Try
the
and
nose.
pick out some smells. Quite like glue, like wood glue.
Yeah, a little bit. There is
Kind
something
of
along those lines.
Nuttiness.
Yeah, it's like an earthy. There's some kind of like citrus fruit or.
I'd say more like
something-
dried fruits, like
Maybe.
raisins or
It's a.
not sultanas.
It's a. Well, I didn't think it was as sweet as that, but
Maybe.
if you get past the.
It's
It's
definitely
got a bit of a floral bouquet, I'd say, in there.
maybe
but
like cooked raisins, you know, like
maybe.
in like a Danish or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, shall I tell
It's
you what it
just,
says?
I think it's like too crisp for me. So I'm thinking like a green apple because it's like quite a fresh smell.
Oh, you mean orchard fruits?
Yeah, well, maybe that.
But the nose here says fresh, malty, and absolutely delightful. I mean, that's not a nose, but okay. Raisin / prune notes evolve and complement. So we got raisin / prune, but here we go. The crisp sweetness of the malt. There you go. A disarming bouquet with a hint of marine freshness underpinning rich PX fruit. It is quite a rich nose.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Best of luck.
I'll give it a sip. I might add water.
Yeah. I mean, I reserve the right to add water to any. We'll see how it is upon first tasting. It's been a while since I've had out this potent, and it is the most potent one of the box.
Just punch it. It's very nice.
Oh, that's strong.
Yeah, it is strong, but
it's very good.
Yeah,
it has got that kind of PX spiciness,
spicy
caramel. Yeah, caramel. Super warming because of the 65% alcohol.
It's very rich.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a second sip, see what more flavors I can pick out. Now it's not gonna
I did a little one.
Surprise me as much.
I'm just still getting that richness, the oily sort of.
It is decadent, isn't it?
Sweetness. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got those kind of Christmas fruits as well, those dried fruits again.
Yeah.
It's nice and satisfying.
Yeah, it has like a heaviness to it.
Yeah, it's definitely oily. So this says anyway, sorry, on the palate, oak, plump sweet grapes, a malty crispness, and a flash of salted caramel. Sweet fruitiness comes alive alongside rich, long-aged sherry and oak notes. I'm not sure I get grapes. I think that's a bit too sweet.
Maybe if I add a wee bit of water. I've added 2 drops to about 1/3 of a dram, so it might be too much water, but we'll see.
I just feel like it's too good to risk.
That's why I left it till the very end.
That is very, very good, especially for 11 years.
Mm-hmm. It's done that thing where it stripped the oiliness, and so it's a bit more like boozy,
a bit flatter.
Didn't change it up much, to be fair.
No,
mostly the same. little bit more oaky, I would say. Which I wouldn't really say it changes the profile enough to change how I would score it.
I mean, I'm having to approach this one quite slowly because it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to score it while I finish it off. If you want to give that one a score.
Oh, you already got a score.
I've got a score. Yeah, I think it's a 4.
I think it's a 4. Yes.
I really enjoy that one. Let's just write that down. Finish this one off.
Yeah, let me know when you're done, and we can move on to the next one. Get through this right quick, and then we can stumble ourselves to bed.
Just pass out in my chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done. Done with that one.
Okay.
Oh,
Any finishing comments?
Fantastic.
It was good.
Just super strong. It's been a while since I had one quite that potent.
Yeah. Same.
Handled itself well though.
We had a few that were up there in the Christmas box, but it's also been a few weeks since we did that because
it's been a while since the Christmas box, hasn't it?
Had to go to Ireland for some idiot's, celebration of his end of his singledom.
Well, you got to do something, celebrate / whatever the hell that was.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was a good time.
Okay, are we ready for the second one then? It's still old. It's 13 years old this time. And it's a Heroes and Heretics Macduff 13-year-old. So the card says, our second Dram and our second Macduff, which implies that's the pairing.
Yes.
Here at less bonkers ABV of 54% and a more subtle sherry cask maturation, Heroes and Heretics presents a more mellow take on the Macduff spirit. We recommend exploring this alongside Dramful's release to compare and contrast and see if you can spot the similarities and identify the differences. Which is what we're doing, because we do them all back to back to back to back. So
that's how you taste whiskey, isn't it?
Oh,
just someone comes
this
along.
Knows.
I'd do flexible hours if I worked at a distillery. I'd work one day,
and that's it.
Taste every yeah, forever.
I'd come in. I'd sample the wares, but I'd have worked one day.
And then they'd be like, "So, what's your findings?" And I'd be like, "I can't even see."
It was good alcohol, drunk.
Yeah, leave me alone. Just as an aside, I suppose, a little bit. So the last one is an £85 bottle,
okay.
And this one is a £76 bottle.
Oh, that's pretty.
So kind of shows the mark increase, because I think we averaged like 45 to 50 in the old style.
And we were only paying like 20% more or something like that. So
it's only a small increase, yeah. That's got a lovely smell, by the way.
It does.
It's like almost like shortbread.
Yeah, it's very like all butter.
Yeah, butter.
Shortbread.
Yeah. It's like when you make, when you mix butter and sugar to make like biscuits or whatever.
Yeah, the baking smell of butter and
yeah, that's definitely like
pretty much.
butter and sugar. Yeah, that's lovely. What should we be smelling?
Because the last one, according to this, buttery biscuits and salt. So
nailed it.
Yeah, it's just I'm not sure about the salt, but
I suppose it's not sweet. Maybe that's what. It's like
it's salted butter. Let's go for that.
Yeah.
Right, I'm ready to go in for this. I mean, it's much easier to nose this one. It's almost like after you hit your nose with 65% alcohol fumes, it's like 55.
Like, just drink
your water. Air.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going in for a taste.
Okay.
There's definitely some saltiness there that builds quite a bit. So it's a little bit overpowered by the saltiness for me, but it starts off like you'd expect from the smell, like shortbread or
Some
not
kind of
salted
pastry.
caramel, but like that, you know, kind of like more of a biscuit, like a vanilla biscuit, something like that.
I get you, yeah. Too malty for a pastry.
Yeah. This is going to be silly, but it tastes like a dry biscuit.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Well, that's not what they've got, but I'm happy to agree with you.
All right, what do they have?
They say raisins and butterscotch complemented by notes of chocolate and sea salt. So the salt's there. And I say the butterscotch probably covers your
Is the biscuit? Yeah, maybe.
That's in the same sort of ballpark.
Mm.
And then a lengthy finish of dried fruits, garden herbs, mild black pepper and spice. I can get the pepper.
It does get like gardeny. It gets like heaviness, doesn't it? It gets earthy. Earthy tones develop into the finish with black.
There is a pepper in this, yeah.
That's the same almost, because that smells amazing, and then that earthy pepperiness is kind of breaking this for me.
Yeah. Once you've drunk it, you go back in for a nose. Much more boozy. Wonder why that is. Like your mouth's full of the alcohol still, so like your sinuses are overwhelmed. Do you think?
I don't know how long alcohol lingers on like the palate and that.
Long enough. It's in your saliva, isn't it? So that's how the breathalyzer works.
Is it?
Partly.
Oh. I never really thought about how a breathalyzer works, to be honest, but that'd make sense.
It's also why if you ever wake up after like let's say after like a whiskey festival, right? And then you have like a drink of like Coca-Cola or orange juice. Instead of tasting like Coca-Cola or orange juice, it tastes like a vodka and Coke or a vodka and orange because your mouth still has, you know, when you've had that much alcohol, your blood alcohol content's so high that your like breath is making the things that you drink and eat taste boozy.
Need to book in our next. Maybe it's the back end of this year.
Yeah, I'd say. Well, we can discuss that offline.
Yeah, I don't want to be mobbed by his fans like Top Gear when they go abroad.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to score that one? That's gone down pretty quick because it was so much easier to drink it because of the strength than the last one.
Yeah.
I think I'd go for a solid 3 there for that.
I'll give it a 3.5. I think I still like the pepperiness.
Okie-dokie. I think you just suffered following after that one. I think if that had been the first one, I might have liked it more, but that first one was just so much.
Yeah.
It was just, it was just really good. And they always suffer following on from that, don't they? When you get a really good one.
Yeah, it's hard to do a box when the first one's really good because you at the end of the box you often think maybe that one should have been half higher.
I also think like a lot of these boxes aren't designed. Like I don't think Chris goes into this being like, right, we'll order them in a way that if you drink all 6, in one go. I feel like they're meant to be that you have one or
one a night or one a week. Well, these will be now, one a week-ish. Like you've got your fancy whiskies that you get one. You start your Saturday night with one of your fancy whiskies and then
relax after work on a Friday or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, right, 6, here we go.
Yeah. I meant like if you were going to sit down and you like to have a couple of drams, start with your expensive one.
Start with your tasting one before going on to the one you've got a bottle of.
Yeah, which will inevitably make it either everything tastes bad or everything tastes great, depending on how much of it you have.
True.
And how peated it is, if depending on what you like.
Whiskey number 3, and I notice you've given me the one Gaelic name here. I'm going to say it's Glenmore.
That's what I would say, yeah.
Glenmore Spirits. This is a Glenallachie 14-year-old. So we're staying in Speyside, as the card says, moving over to the Glens. And with me
As
mentioning
we
that, I
predicted.
assume that is why they've paired this one. Starting with a heavy-hitting 60+% bottling of full sherry but matured Glenallachie. From Glenmore's Rare Find series, this single cask release is a fantastic example of the distillery's malt at its very best. The sweet, grassy Speyside style has aged marvellously, and the high strength brings in 10 steps of flavour. So another 60-odd% full sherry cask matured. Doesn't say what kind of sherry cask.
I didn't want to say beforehand, but when you looked at these two, I was like, oh, they've probably been in a sherry cask for a while.
Oh, yeah. From
They
the
were
colour.
like, they're both, we didn't mention, but they're both practically red.
Yeah, they're very dark. 14 years in a sherry cask. You know, it's weird. I can actually feel it getting to me a bit. I'm already somehow.
It's just
very rare.
Buttery again.
Buttery again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to look up how much the bottle of this is, because
that's the theme now.
Yeah.
We're a whiskey finance podcast, one of the highest CPM advertising.
Yeah, we're going to sit down and talk to you about building wealth next. But we need to 6 whiskies into Salva's conscience for talking about that when we've got no qualifications.
So to build wealth, right, what you have to do is make a YouTube channel where you explain to people how to build wealth and then rake in the ad money.
That seems to be the way. Talk about things like
it's an absolute
Sigma,
MLM.
high strength. What is it? High value male.
High value males.
Yeah. Usually it helps if you've got like a bit of like an MMA or something background. You know, you've been in a couple of fights, so you're proved that you're a real man.
Or you're the complete opposite way, but you still have like a really hot supermodel wife, and you say it's because you were so rich, basically.
Oh, you can just pay for one.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
because you're so rich. That's
what
I mean, and that's how you show that you're a Sigma male, because you're so high value. You didn't even need to get hard. You just. Oh no, let's not say get hard. You didn't even need to be hard.
No, I think you're probably onto something there. To be honest.
Possibly true. Yeah.
I just realised something actually. It said that this one we were staying in Speyside, but the last 2 were Highland. Macduff is a Highland, isn't it?
It's probably on the line, no? Let's have a look.
Anyway, doesn't matter. Right, let's give this one a smell. Ooh, again, it's like baked goods, but a bit more complicated.
Yeah.
The strength always
the opposite way from a Highland. Macduff is to the northeast of Speyside, almost to the extent that it could be outside the Speyside and be a Highland, but you know.
Depends what they call themselves at that point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like Macallan calls themselves Highland. Every time I use that.
It's the opposite side from Macallan.
Yeah.
It's like Aberdeen side or North Aberdeenshire.
What do you reckon then from this? I've read the card, so I don't want to say anything because I've been compromised.
So I'm just getting like buttered toast, but not toast, like a very, very pale, like warmed bread more.
Yeah, okay.
More like fresh bread out of bakery, buttered.
Fresh baked bread with butter. I like that. I think that works, and I think it kind of lines up with what they've put. So they've put apricot, which I don't really get, fudge and banana with sweet notes of butterscotch, and I think that fudge, banana, and butterscotch is all kind of in that fresh baked bread, butter, sweetness, baked goodsness. I think it's all in the same world. It's just some people were brought up with things like fudge, banana, and butterscotch, and then us poor people just brought up with bread and butter.
Yeah, I could maybe get banana. But like more like banoffee, which would be the fudge and banana.
I don't know. I do get banana now, but I don't know if it's because it's in my brain.
Yeah, but it's not like straight up banana. Like it is more like.
Don't talk banoffee because I haven't had a banoffee pie in years.
But it's more like a banoffee pie now.
I do like banoffee pie.
Yeah.
Go on then. Going for a taste. I'm going to put hints of banoffee pie because it deserves respect.
There's like a tartness.
A tartness.
Yeah, like overripe bananas. and you know when it's like when the banana goes like slightly brown and it has that
Yeah, it's
little
banana
bit,
bread at that point.
yeah, but it's a little bit more. The sugar's almost there's something. The sugar's separated out, so you have like the banana and the sugar
Yeah, I
as
see what
two
you're saying.
separate flavors.
I do see what you're saying. I'm going to go for a second sip, and then I'll tell you what it says on the palate.
Okay, yeah. I've got my second sip too.
I don't know if it's because we've had that first one, and so I'm a little bit more prepared, but that's a lot less intense on the alcohol side than the first one. A lot less intense. It's only a couple of % lower.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
it's sort of like it's maybe like a raisiness to not raisins though. Like some kind of like it's like the sweetness is out. Like the flavor that's there is like if you took the sweetness away from like dried fruits or banana or something like
So
that.
almost like, you know, when we do carnation milk or whatever for sweet vanilla, but it's like a flattened sweet vanilla.
Probably,
It's like
yeah.
kind of that, but applied to raisins.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're not far off, to be fair. So this says warm, obviously 62.5%. Spicy oak. What would you say a spicy oak is? It's like a palm tree.
Yeah.
With creamy vanilla and sherried dried fruits. Maybe that's what you're getting.
Yeah.
Like a stewed dried fruit, like
it probably is, yeah.
A boozy dried fruit.
It might actually have just been cherry flavour that I was getting.
And the finish, long and
Now
creamy with
now that I
notes
think
of
about
bitter
it.
chocolate.
Yeah. And the bitterness, yeah. But I think I was actually just tasting sherry.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
like
yeah,
a dry
it
sherry.
would make sense.
Now I'm going to go in for my last sip and then just be like, oh, it just tastes like sherry. That's what it is.
How big are your sips?
I just take like a mouthful that I can like hold on my tongue.
I say I've still got one left, and I think I did more.
I can probably have 2 sips out of this, to be fair.
No, do it. Do it at your own pace. I'm just trying to slow it down because what's coming. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I've noticed, by the way, I have a tendency every single time to say, "Do you want to give that a score?" So I'm desperately trying to not say that. You know.
But do you want to give that a score?
Maybe I ought to put it on a T-shirt.
That should be our first.
That's my tagline.
That's our first
I
match.
think that's a pretty crap tagline to have, isn't it?
Do you want to give that a score?
Yeah. Okay. I would say that is a 3.5.
Yeah, I'd put that the same as the last one for me, so 3.5.
I think it was a little bit better than the last one for me, but it wasn't quite as good as the first one. But I think if you weren't as massive into your sherry bombs as we are, that would be better than the first one.
Probably.
It's just the first one was like super intense sherry bomb. Like I think you've got to have a certain, like if you know when we were out in Dublin,
yeah,
and some of your friends / family that were there weren't as big into the whiskies as we are. I think they did not like that first one.
Possibly, yeah.
Because I know one of your brothers, the one whose birthday it may or may not have been,
yeah,
who I bought a single grain for, I think he was surprised by how much he actually enjoyed that.
He does like whiskey, to be fair. His primary drink is whiskey cocktails. But
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Old fashions are, but he likes like. I think the thing is that he likes bourbon mostly.
He sounds so much like you. The other one, not so much. A little bit.
So he grew up more in. So
but you were saying,
I was like 10 before I left moved to Edinburgh. My younger brother was like 5, so we both were speaking fluently speaking by the time we moved. Whereas my younger brother was like just starting to speak, so he has a much more Edinburgh accent.
When I was talking to your dad at that restaurant, I was like, does it not disappoint you that none of them sound like we do? And he's like, yeah, but I gave up on that a long time ago. Good man, though, hanging on to the accent this whole time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he managed to keep it fully.
Aye, he sounds, he's Exactly. It was nice to have someone who sounded like me, to be honest.
Yeah.
And one of the others who was there as well. Not two, because one of them's not from Yorkshire. He's from near Leeds.
I mean, I think technically my dad's from near Leeds. But
Yeah, he is, but
it's actually from in between Leeds and where.
Yeah, but your dad's all right because he didn't like snore at 10 million decibels.
True. You know, I didn't even hear him through the wall the second night because I was well medicated.
I think the fact that it was well medicated, but I think also just the relief.
Yeah.
The relief I felt when it was just. I liked how I came up to you that second day. I was like, we switched you and him, and you were just like, yeah, right, you got it.
I also was like, I'm not expecting to have any trouble sleeping anywhere tonight.
But I just think you understood the pain.
I slept. Like,
yeah, you've
6
shared a
feet
room
from him. It was.
Yes, so bad.
Yeah. Used to get one of those little sprung nose clip things that
He literally had to stand up for a little bit and stare at a wall.
He used to get his adenoids and that out, I think. But
I was so angry, but couldn't do anything because it's not his fault, so I don't blame him. But legitimately angry. Because anyway, enough.
I suppose if we want to do an actual aside about, because it's been a while since we've talked about something an experience. We did visit a few distilleries in Dublin whilst we were away, and that's why it was Irish whiskey. We did Teeling, which was big news for us because we were both big fans, and we also managed to get some whiskies in at Roll & Co. And you managed somewhere else. Where was the
Liberty's Distillery? Yeah, because we got there to Dublin first. I didn't mean to drink there. I didn't mean to betray you.
It's fine.
I just want to say that.
I was just drinking with a Polish man on the plane who decided to get me 2 double vodkas on a 45-minute flight. Not with a mixer, just 2 double vodkas.
2 of us got there early is all, and so I was like, well, there's 4 distilleries in Dublin. It'd be nice to visit them all. And I know that one of them doesn't sell its glasses online. I think I probably mentioned that I collect the glasses if I visit a distillery. So I was like, let's visit that one. I'll just go in, buy a glass, leave, happy days. Went in, talked to the guy. He's like, you here for a tour? I was like, no, we're just here to visit. He's like, do you want a flight? He's like, yeah. Didn't really take much.
He pushed it. He got caught by a drugs pusher, technically.
Hey, in all fairness, one of the whiskies on that flight was €380.
That's a bit.
And it was a €38 flight. So that's not bad when you get 3 others.
Nope.
It was good. It was.
Oh, I also forgot to tell you, after you left us, I got. I know the weekend was heavily dominated by pints of Guinness, but
it was.
There's another Irish beer that I like.
Oh, you put it in the group chat, I think.
Kilkenny, yes, and I managed to find it in the oldest pub in Dublin. They had it, so
nice.
I was. It's weird, right? Because I've had that. I've only ever had that Kilkenny in like far away places in Europe, like Malta or Greece, and in Irish bars in those countries, and it's almost like the domestic market in Ireland is so dominated by Guinness, and then the export market in the UK is so dominated by Guinness that they have to go elsewhere to get like actually sales.
So if you do find yourself in Dublin, good place for distilleries. Teeling Tar was really good. They don't like the English, so if you're up for that,
also
that's great.
Not too big a fan of the Scots.
No, they were a little bit aggressive against the Scots and their contribution to the whiskey.
Mostly the Scotch whiskey industry, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I guess we do count as part of what they rebelled against in the.
Yeah, you don't get to wash your hands entirely of it. I would recommend that Liberty's one was really nice. Roll & Co was good, but weird in that there was a guy on the door checking you before you know, booking you in or whatever. But it was still very fancy, and it is across from the Guinness place, so it might be that they get a lot of trouble, a lot of drunk people stumbling over. And I would recommend Halfpenny Bridge pub.
Yeah, it was good.
That was a nice pub. And the shooting place that we went, that was really good. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'd have to find the name of that again, but yeah.
Yeah.
Keep your face on the shotgun if you're doing clays.
Hey, it worked for you
because-
though. You got a way higher score than me. I didn't hurt myself like you did, but
Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to just take the potential damage to the nerves that keep your teeth alive, move your face, and you'll get a bruise, but
get a scar.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough prevaricating. Time for whiskey 4.
yes. So this sort of implies something that we hinted at earlier, where there was a couple of different options for what could have been the pairings, because it says our second Glen and our first boutique offering.
There you go.
So-
You see, we nailed it.
It is meta pairings now. We're getting extra pairings. How many pairings can you get out of 6? You say, oh, probably 3. No.
Oh, it's like one of those where how many squares can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a Glentalkers, and it says it's the Boutique Whiskey Co. Glentalkers, 21 years old. So Glentalkers is most usually deployed to great effect in a series of famous blends, black and white, Ballantines, and Teachers. However, it is also a favourite of the indie bottling scene. And here we are spoilt with a 21-year-old single malt. So
This is a 120-pound bottle of whiskey.
in the normal release, this would have, in the historical Dram Team, this would have qualified itself for being a 6 dram.
Oh, that's really, really like fruity.
2 minutes. Where is Glentalkers?
Where? It's
Yeah.
Speyside.
Definitely Speyside.
Yeah.
It's like
Were you
between
doubting me
Rothers and
then?
Keith. Yeah, no, I was just seeing exactly where.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
that
is super fruity. That's like Ribena.
is quite fruity. Like, oh no. Maybe. Is there anything else in it?
Bit of vanilla, maybe. I always
Yeah.
get vanilla.
Yeah, I think that's a strong. Oak and vanilla are good shouts for
Yeah.
whiskey. That's the core. I mean,
There's
I
something
would
in the
also
oak
add
in there,
oak,
like a chemical compound that releases vanilla smells.
yeah, and oak and oakiness. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's one of the. It's one of the fruitiest I've ever smelled.
Well, do you want me to tell you what it says?
Yeah, go on.
Salted caramel, chocolate digestive, and red apples, then morello cherry jam, nutty barley, and a helping of fresh vanilla beans and oak chips. So,
See, this is again we're talking about that class thing.
yeah.
I was like, it smells like Ribena. They're like Morello cherry jam. Fuck is a Morello cherry?
Fancy
Isn't he the guy who sings in Rage Against the Machine?
guitar. Yeah. Close though. Good reference.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the snazziest jam I've ever had is like apricot.
Yeah, or like blackcurrant or something like that. You know, it's
Yeah.
like what? Not quite.
Just,
Like
just
it's
a
like,
round trees blackcurrant jam.
it's like strawberry at the top, then like a little underneath in terms of rarity, it's raspberry, and then there's
Yeah.
like apricot,
Blackcurrant apricot. If you're in a
blackcurrant,
fancy
that.
hotel,
and
you'll
and
get that.
probably I had it at a hotel somewhere.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh no, like the farm shop down the road from me has their own cherry. What's it? An orchard for cherries?
Grove? I don't know. Let's have a look. How do you even define that?
What is? Where do cherries grow?
A cherries orchard fruits. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they've got their own. The farm shop down the road from me has their own morello cherry orchard. So they
You can
just make
rent a cherry tree.
rent. You have to be really into cherries for that to be worthwhile.
I guess you rent one
Unless
in
it's
an
like a
orchard somewhere.
tenner for a
They
year.
don't bring it round to you.
Yeah, I'm saying unless it's like £10 for the year, you're basically sponsoring it and you get to go
Rent
and
a
pick.
tree. They've run out of trees for 2024, so it's obviously pretty popular.
And people wonder why millennials can't buy houses.
Too busy renting cherry trees.
Yeah. They're so depressed with their
It's like
life
that
in
meme
London.
where it's like food, this, and it's like, I don't know, like Belle Delphine bathwater, £20,000. Please help me balance my budget. I can't afford to look after my children or whatever.
Yeah.
It's that, food, rent, Netflix, renting cherry trees.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, isn't it? Who was it? Suella Braverman said, just
The wokerati.
well, just plant no, just if you just plant an apple tree, then you can have free apples.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
It's
still
like,
waiting on my
you're
damn
saying
apple
this.
tree.
You're saying this to people who live in flats in London.
Yeah. I've got an apple tree. It's not put any apples out. It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
Almost like it takes a while to establish.
Yeah.
And doesn't put out that many apples.
And requires you to have a house where you're allowed to plant things in the garden, so probably own it already.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And it could die at any time. And you've got to
and you have to learn about replenishing your soil and stuff like that.
Yeah, you've got to make sure that as well that it's like either self-fertilizing or you paired it with the right kind, and
you've got
otherwise
to make
it won't put out any fruit.
That there's it's actually being fed. It's almost like horticulture is a difficult task.
Yeah, farmers notoriously rich.
Yeah. Also, don't you think that the Tory party should probably warn against telling people to stop buying produce, given that a significant amount of the people who are not, upper middle or upper or
Well, I mean, it gets around that. They always ask what is the cost of a pint of milk, and they always panic because the man buys it for them.
Yeah.
Told Suella can just get around that now. I've got a cow.
Yeah.
I'm bought one in ages.
Cow only costs 10 grand plus how much it costs to feed it. I don't know how much a cow costs. That was
a significant amount, I imagine.
Yeah.
Big animals.
Yeah. And
anyway, should we taste this?
Yeah. We probably should.
Going in for a taste.
How much? Yeah.
Again, another one's a lot more earthy than I expected. Not as earthy as that first one, but
the age.
The smell. Yeah, it could be the age, like the oak influence. It is quite woody. It's quite like brown bread. I guess malty.
I think when you cask something up,
well toasted brown bread, maybe.
If it's like a first fill, you probably get the majority of the influence of the whatever was previously in the oak, like wine or sherry or bourbon. I reckon you probably leach that out in the 3 years that it takes to become whiskey, and then all of the aging after that is primarily, I imagine, to do with the actual oak and the char.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that would be me. That's me absolutely bro science in it, but
I'm going well toasted brown bread, oak, and a bit of vanilla. Those are my three.
There's a sweetness there, almost sugary. Like,
Right, well, could put some jam on that well toasted brown bread.
Let's see what it says. Oh, marmalade on brown toast, it says.
It's always got to be awkward.
With some melted brown butter and dried fruit. Burnt sugar, so there you go.
There you go, yeah.
Citrus and a little garden herb emerge.
Oh, citrus, yeah, it's got that kind of cleanness to it.
Yeah, with plenty of oak spice prickling away throughout. More spicy oak. Is it palm trees that swingers put outside the house? That's why I thought it was spicy.
I mean, I obviously gave away my lifestyle. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I've never read that.
I can't remember if it's palm.
I'm going to ruin my Google search history by looking for this now.
I know that apparently on cruises, people put upside down pineapples on their door if they're a swinger. And this is an issue, but I found this out because do you know Alex Horn?
Pampas grass, apparently.
Pampas grass, not palm trees. Do you know Alex Horn from the Horn section and also Taskmaster?
Yes.
So he has a tattoo of a pineapple on his arm, but it's so that he can see a pineapple if he looks at it. So when he puts his arm down, he has an upside down pineapple on his arm. which
Oh, so he's just signalling at
technically signals that he's a squigger.
all the swingers
He
in the
said that he was
region.
on Saturday Kitchen a few weeks back, and he was saying it's like a big issue. He has to like walk around with his arm up if he's got short sleeves on. Yeah. So, and then it says on the finish, bread and butter pudding, and a hint of struck match. So
I don't like bread and butter pudding.
I
Probably
don't
like
mind bread and butter
struck
pudding.
match less.
I think I prefer bread and butter pudding to
Matches.
well, matches definitely. Bread and butter pudding's okay.
Nah, I'm not a fan.
For a long time, I didn't like baked Alaska because,
Oh, I like a baked Alaska.
well, it's because my teeth were too sensitive, so I couldn't eat the bread because it was too cold. Because the ice
You
cream,
are a very sensitive person, aren't you?
I can eat ice cream with my teeth now. I can't eat ice
Well, I
lollies.
can't
with
eat
my
ice cream
teeth.
with my teeth. I have to like fold my lips over my teeth.
I can do it now. To be fair, one of my incisors is fully false enamel, so
Yeah.
that helps.
Yeah, I'm head putting that guy.
It's right
you
on
wanna-
his foot, yeah.
Did you want to? Yeah. Did you want to go this one? Sorry. Damn it! I was trying to. God damn it!
I'd say it's because you're trying to keep us to time, and I'm just not caring.
I am. But you're talking about violence.
Yeah, I would say
A 3.
it's
I'm going
a
for.
3. Yeah, I'll put that one at a 3. It's a very good 3.
It is a good 3. But I think it's just had some strong acts to follow as a problem.
I think if it was in a different box, it'd very likely have been probably made
3.5.
close to a 4 in some boxes that we've had. Not that
Yeah.
it's been bad, but there are a couple of boxes with
It's not bad. It's just different tastes.
a couple of boxes with a lower average.
Speaking of bad,
Based off, I mean, the average is about to drop for you anyway.
it is significantly above. Although, to be fair, the one we're about to have next, the one it's from, is the only. Obviously, it's peated. I've kind of given that away with my whinging. It's the only peated whiskey I've ever actively bought at a bar.
Interesting.
Because Lechig, I don't mind too much, but it depends on the peat.
I think I've bought a frig once.
Nah, I wouldn't do that on
That was
principle.
when I was experimenting with whiskies. I bought it and I was like, this is absolutely completely different to that Dalmuir I just had, which was delicious.
Yeah, right on the opposite end.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously I've given it away. That's a Lechig, which is from Tobermory Distillery. So this is another boutique, but that's not the pairing. It is paired with the other boutique, but it's not the pairing. It's a
bonus
optional, a bonus objective.
Yeah.
So it's that boutique whiskey co. Lechig 17-year-old. And the card says, our first peaty dram and next boutique release takes us away from Speyside and offshore to the Isle of Mull and the town and distillery of Tobermory. What's the story, Tobermory? It doesn't say that, but I had to say.
Because Tobermory is Ballymurray, if you don't.
Yeah. Tobermory splits annual production evenly between its eponymous, fruity, bright, unpeated spirit.
I've just opened this and I can already smell it.
Great, the good stuff. And the heavily peated and increasingly popular, because people are getting stupider, Lechig style, showcased fantastically in this 17-year-old release. And I may have added some embellishments to the card there myself, but Chris did say on the card, anyone who likes peated whiskey is stupid. He did actively write that.
It doesn't say it on mine, but it must just be a special edition for you. Did you just open it?
Yeah.
You can smell it a mile away. This actually smells like it is the epitome of a campfire. Like you're like, oh god, someone started a fire. My clothes are going to stink. You know when you've just put out a wash and someone starts a barbecue up, and you're like, well, guess we'll be washing that again.
Then some freak is like, I wish I could eat that.
Yeah.
God damn it. Let's have a smell. Yeah.
From here, I can smell lightly peated.
I'm trying. It's definitely peated. It's less campfirey to me, that.
When you get your nose in it, it actually isn't.
It's more like an earthy peat, like peat, like burning peat.
It's got a saltiness to it.
Yeah, and the heaviness.
Coastal a little bit, yeah.
Like coastaliness, yeah.
It's a beachy bonfire, that's what it is.
I would say it's like, and this is just off the top of my head, I would say driftwood, roasted barley, cooked apple, and maybe sugary pastry.
Let's see what the card says.
Oh, it says driftwood, roasted barley, cooked apple. I'm getting good at this.
Yeah. Now I can get the driftwood note.
Yeah, I think that's the coastal bonfire. It's definitely a
Yeah.
coastal bonfire, isn't it?
Yeah.
None of this sugary pastries in there, that's for sure.
Maybe
Go
if
on
you
then.
just like sniff it until your nose can't smell the peat anymore, like when we were on Isla.
You reckon that's what happened?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I
No
mean,
wonder it's so miserable there. It just stinks of peat all the time.
I've had a Lagavulin 10 there, and I've had it since, and it's much more peaty than I remember. It's still
Yeah, that's true.
one of the more drinkable peated whiskies because it's much more on the smoked bacon side of things. But
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I actually had like actively had like 3 or 4 Ardbegs.
Mm.
And that's never going to happen in any other world. Go on then. I'll graciously let you taste this one first. And tell us what you get. I mean, if you are struggling with a peat level, I'm going to have a great deal of fun.
Mm.
You're not reassuring me.
Tastes like burnt seaweed.
Nice. Go on then. Fill some dead air while I have a try.
It's got that saltiness and like a little bit like it's seaweedy, and then it's got like obviously the peat's there, like smoke and seaweed is what I'm getting. I'm struggling to get anything else out of it.
It is very seaweedy, very coastally. I wouldn't say that smoky. It's massively like seaweedy.
Yeah,
Like the smoke
but
develops through the finish because
the
peat
smoke's in the
lingers
finish. Yeah,
bloody ever. But it's loads of seaweed.
I've just looked at the cards, and I'm going to have to just call BS. But you can read it out.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just making some notes.
It's just seaweed is what I'm getting, and like seaweed and peat. Seaweed
Salted
with a peated
butter,
finish.
seaweed, brown sugar, smoked lemon zest, and fizzy strawberry laces.
Fizzy strawberry laces. If this tasted like fizzy strawberry laces, I'd be out buying a bottle right now. That is an amazing flavour.
Yeah. Or I'd be questioning the strawberry laces they've been eating.
Yeah. If your strawberry laces taste like burnt boot leather, then maybe.
If your parents got them from the beach and said it was
Yeah.
strawberry laces, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
if the
but
strawberry laces you've been eating are green, right,
a bit
and
wet.
slimy, and the slime is the fizz, there's occasionally a jellyfish in it, and that's what the fizz is. And
Yeah,
I
I hate
can
to
tell
break
you
it
that.
to you. We've been eating different things.
Yeah.
And the finish, the earthy smoke lasts for minutes after. That's a punishment. That's not a positive.
It's
don't
what
wanna-
it is, though. To be fair, that the
Yeah,
finish
it's still
is,
lingering now. Yeah.
I'm not calling BS on the finish.
Mm.
I mean,
The smoke is arguably not the worst flavor in this. That seaweed is intense.
I am preferring the finish smoke to the seaweed
Yeah,
flavor. I don't dislike the finish because it's not that.
No, if that was the finish to another peated whiskey, I'd be alright with it.
Yeah.
It's not massive. It's just lingering.
It's
It's
not
like-
like ashy either. It's like
No, it's a fairly nice campfire smoke, like a memory of a campfire.
Mhm.
If we're going to be poetic about it.
not strawberry laces at a campfire, but
No, it's still just like eating the campfire. While I'm there, preferring to not eat the campfire and maybe have something else instead. But that seaweediness is, I mean, I guess it suits the distillery
Mhm.
and the location.
Mo, yeah,
But
quite a small island.
Yorkshire Distillery is in a industrial estate. I prefer
Probably
it to
don't want it to taste like
oil or plastic or
coal,
yeah.
steel.
I think there's nicer flavors you could have picked out. I wonder why it is so seaweedy. Like, what is it? Just the peat they use? Do you think? Do you think it's
Must
local
be.
peat?
Must be. They must get the peat from Mull, and this must be.
Oh,
I tell you, it's not. I can understand why Lechig have let that one go, or Tobermory have let that one go for an independent bottling because I don't think it matches what the normal.
No, like I say, the Lechig is the only peated whiskey I've ever. Basically, I had a choice between that and like a Glenmorangie 10 or something.
Like yeah, like
Whatever
fine.
base Glenmorangie is. And I
Yeah.
was like, actually, the Lechig's got a bit of something to it, despite the fact that it's peated. But yeah, because I remember someone walking over and being like, "Is that peated whiskey? Who are you and what are you doing with Josh?" Because they also like whiskey, but they like their peated ones, so they could kind of detect it, if you know what I mean.
You smell it from a mile away because it's
yeah,
pervasive.
So this is okay, 2 seconds. Why is that? I was trying to work something out. That's fine. So this is our most expensive one so far at £140.
And we're still not on the 6 dram.
Oh.
I'm liking this. These are
exactly.
These are whiskies I would never buy without having tried.
These are whiskies that we will probably, unless we were going to split them, we wouldn't buy in a whiskey bar. Because £140 whiskey is probably like £15-16 a dram.
Yeah, and that at that point you're at that kind of a price point. Well,
You either like it or you don't order it.
We're never buying a peated whiskey at that price. Neither of us likes it enough for it to be worth it. I would potentially, if there was a very old or very rare Lagavulin, I would maybe try
if
it
you're
just to
talking like
see.
30 years old, fair enough. I might give it a go, but yeah.
But like for the most part, we're probably not buying a Lechig for that price.
No.
So that's what this box is great. These boxes are great for, and the fact that it's like this is actually more what we want, right? Because a lot of the other ones were in the price point that we would maybe have just bought it at 40
you don't want
quid.
to taste the same things over and over. You want to be tested, don't you?
Did
you want to score that one, by the way?
Yeah, I'll give that a 2.5.
Yeah, I'll go 2.
It
was just not particularly pleasant. Sorry, Lechig. I think he's still pretty good. I'm quite a big fan of Tobermory. But I get that why you gave that to Boutique. I understand. And now I've got to try and somehow cleanse the palate. Don't have enough water on earth to do that.
Still pretty. I mean, I've watered it down a lot, but very glad that wasn't at the start.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't think watering down your palate is going to matter too much, though, because the pairing for this is obviously going to stay peated.
Yeah, I think that is the pairing. Yeah. And I think just a quick glance at the card, then you are correct.
Mm-hmm. So I'll pour mine out, and then we will
pour one out for the boys.
Homies, yeah.
Is it the homies? Is it?
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah, sorry, I was just looking up this one. How much is
you need an apple or something to clear that flavour. Then we'll just be orchard fruits.
I need a holiday, that's what I need.
You got a price on the next one?
What? A holiday?
No, on the next dram.
I'm trying to look it up. It's difficult to find.
I'll start reading it out then.
Yeah, go for it.
So the pairing for the Lechig is a Port Charlotte 18-year-old. So it says here, from Dramful. So at second,
I do have a price.
Niche.
Yeah.
Second bonus pairing. The first and last were Dramfuls. Our second Peaty Beast sees just so you know, sees Indy Iliac Charmers Dramful back to what they do best with a stunning Isla.
Iliac?
Not sure.
Oh, sorry.
I just pronounced it how I thought it would be pronounced.
Yeah.
With a stunning
Isla.
Isla, is it? Yeah. With a stunning Isla from the sought-after Bruichladdich distillery. Bruichladdich peated spirit uses the Port Charlotte name and is truly remarkable at cash strength. So they went to Bruichladdich, but they were like,
crap whiskey.
Yeah, so I'm guessing then that Dram Full are from Iowa.
Right, it's pronounced E-look, apparently.
Look.
Uh,
I can
and
see how you would get to that, yeah.
do you want me to tell you the price for this one?
Yeah.
£245.
And
Like it, I love it. I mean, we're being treated.
Yeah.
This is, to get
This
to
is
taste.
now. I feel like sometimes I wonder, right, if like there's like 30 actual Dram Team subscribers,
Yeah.
and Chris just buys a bottle and wants to share it with all his pals who've given him money, so he's just like footing the bill for it all. You know?
I hope he's making money out of this.
But yeah, like
Because that's a hell
obviously
of a.
that's not a great business model to just be like.
Because if you're going up to like the £250 mark,
Yeah.
that's like the benchmark before you start to get to the really expensive ones. There is very few like 300 £350 bottles of whiskey. It goes like 250 500.
Yeah.
So, we're talking like the most expensive whiskies I have are around this price point.
Yeah.
And I'm not particularly a rich person or anything. There's definitely whiskies out there more expensive, but in terms of like
Affordable for something that you can get 40 drinks
yeah,
out
in terms of amateur enthusiast, which is probably
Yeah.
where I'd put myself, it's pretty top.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm
there's
saying.
not
Like, there's only so much you can, like, as an amateur.
there's a couple of
someone who's
distilleries as an amateur
into
that I go for
something,
more than that
yeah.
from, but not many.
But as someone who's into something, as essentially a hobby / interest, you get 40 goals out of a. Not even. You get
28, I think.
28 goals out of a 70 ml bottle. It's
Yeah.
40 out of 100 ml.
Yeah,
Like
because you
100
get 4 per
out of a liter. Yeah.
Yeah, 25 mils times 4 is 100 mils.
Then times 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get 20 drinks essentially, and that's if
Yeah.
you decide not to have a double because you were having a bad day.
Yeah. That's if you're very disciplined with your pouring as well.
Yeah. So
like you use a jigger every time.
use a jigger every time, which, let's be honest.
Yeah.
After the fourth one, you're like, I know what 25 mils looks like. Bang, it's halfway up your Glencairn.
Yeah. I get to the bit where it curves inwards.
Yeah. And so, but what I'm getting at is anything over 300 quid, you're starting to pay more than a tenner for a go. And
yeah,
what might be, you might get a good 25 minutes out of it if you sit and savor it and have something.
There's a couple of distilleries, like I say, out there that if they release something special, I'd go more than that, like Aberlour.
I do wish more places would do expensive bottle in the how the that Aranac I had.
Aberlour's pretty good for that. They do a lot of like small batch 50 centiliter releases, like that one I brought to Isla.
Well, that's it. So I feel like when you're doing, I feel like obviously there's like a prestige to, and you have to release some of them at 70. But I feel like if you held back some of a barrel for making slightly smaller bottles to bring them back into the affordability range, people would be more likely. Because you know what I mean? Like there's a part of you where you're like, it's 500 quid for 28 drinks. Don't know if I want to jump to that. Yeah. Whereas if it was 250 quid for 14 drinks or something like that, you'd maybe be like, I know it's the same price, but I've only put my outlay.
But yeah, the money you spent is less.
Yeah, if it's not a great experience, I feel less stung.
Yeah, £500,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean it's for most people outside of London, it's close to a month's rent.
Yeah, I mean it's close to a mortgage for me.
It's close to a mortgage, yeah. If you've got a good rate.
yeah, we'll see.
Not anymore. Most mortgages now are like £1,000 because you're paying like 7%.
Thanks, Liz. The shit Liz, not the good Liz.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of, I've got so the first Cooper King sold out in 10 minutes.
Did it? Did you manage to get one?
I did. I also have a bottle of the second Cooper King.
Wow.
And I've got a bottle of one of the special Nick Neans.
Oh. So what you're saying is, once Probably after I've been married.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
You are welcome to try those.
Excellent.
Should we do the last whiskey?
We sort of
danced around it quite a bit, haven't
I
we?
was kind of like trying to extend this out so that I could get get my palate closer.
We're doing
to
so
not
well,
being
and we've
peated.
gone over an hour again. But oh well.
Well, we needed some time to try.
I feel like as our core fans would be upset if we less than an hour.
Yeah, but I also mean we needed some time to just actually get a palate cleanse on the
There's
road.
no point because of what this is. It don't matter.
Yeah, but are you ready?
No, but go on. Are we sniffing it, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. What does that smell like? It's not like as light as peaty normally is. It's got like a more it's got more of a base.
Yeah. Quite flowery.
No, I would say like
It's just perfumey is what I'm getting.
it's perfumey, but there's something under it. I don't know. It's almost like people.
People.
Like not body odor, but like just that kind of smell. Like I don't know.
I don't know that I know what people smell like. Like a crowd, I guess is what you mean. But usually the crowds that I'm around smell like alcohol. To be
suppose
honest.
a bit sweaty, or there's just something under the peat. This is not offensively peaty on the nose. It might be because it's a smaller amount.
It's also
12.5.
slightly less. I think it's probably less ppms than.
No, it's more.
Is it?
Well, yeah, it might be less ppm. So I thought ABV, it's more.
No, I meant yeah. I think it might be less ppms than that.
I'd say it was probably from the smell. Go on then.
It's got like a wait. It's almost got a wininess, but like a fortified wine, like a sweet wine.
Yeah, it's got a base, hasn't it? It's got something. It's not just the peat. What does it say on the card?
It's I'll read it. Yeah. Beautiful oak, peat, and hints of Atlantic swells leading on to coastal flora and fauna. Little hints of juniper and pine drift by on a classic Isla Marine overture, all held in the warmth of a peat fire.
Christ. They definitely drank all this box in one go, didn't they?
Yeah. This has it. It has a smell that reminds me, it's sweet, of like what was the wine that we had at Leith that wasn't? We had sherry and we had
a pot.
Was it? I think was it just a sherry and a port that they gave us?
Yeah.
Might have been the port.
The pot was really nice. The sherry was awful.
I think it was. Nah, it's more like. It's not like. It's more like a Madeira.
Yeah, like a
On the
sweet,
nose.
like a dessert wine.
Yeah, it's like it's just somewhere between a sherry and a Madeira is what I'm getting on the
taste
nose.
while you talk about Madeira and dessert wines.
Good idea. I'll finish talking about them, but yeah, it's like it's the sweetness of like distilled raisins rather
That's
than
annoyingly
grapes.
nice.
Is it?
Mm.
Well, I'll take a sip and then I'll tell you what the palate says.
That is like the most contained peat I've ever tasted. Like normally peat runs away with everything, it dominates everything. This, it's almost somehow held in check by all the other flavors, so it's there, but for once, it's a component of the overall flavor. It doesn't run away. It's got like salted caramel in there and a little bit of fruitiness, and there's definitely that coastal peat in there. That's actually quite good.
I have a theory here, right?
Yeah.
I think if you want to drink normally peated whiskey, what you need to do is walk in, ruin your ability to detect.
Maybe it is the leche as
by having, because I feel like on Isla, we went to Kalila and then everything that was the start of it. But then on the day that we did the big three, I feel like by the time we got to How did we do it? We did it in a weird order.
Lagavulin, Ardbeg, and then the Frog.
Yeah, because I feel like we went to Lagavulin and had like a couple of their peat beasts, but Lagavulin's like, in my opinion, the most palatable peat of those three. Like it's much more on the smoked meats than the chemical fire.
Medicinal.
Yeah. And then we went to Ardbeg and we're like, okay, this tastes like Ardbeg still. Because it's still very tire fiery. But then when we went to Laphroaig, I was expecting to be like, I hate this, because I've usually do.
I think I got distracted at Laphroaig by how much I hated one of the other people with us.
But also, there's a couple of Laphroaigs that I've had since that are actually okay, to be fair. But I feel like it was much easier to drink the Laphroaig because we'd had so much peat beasts.
Yeah.
I mean, almost numb to it.
Because the day before we'd had like Kalila, which was quite peaty. We'd had Boona.
Mostly not.
It was Boona, wasn't it? Yeah, mostly not peaty. And then we had a couple at the Annandale. Did we have any at the Annandale? We did, didn't we?
Yeah, not theirs, obviously, but
yeah, but it was still up around the counter.
Yeah, I think they were sort of peaty. Like,
I was saying to the other person who lives near me that I can't remember if we've named in the podcast or not, but I try and be a little protective of people's identities. That's probably like peak in terms of holidays. That was probably my top bit when we were all just sat in Boona.
That's pretty good.
Just with your mates, sharing a hobby that you really enjoy. I remember looking across at you at one point because we were sat at opposite ends of the table, and like a little bit of a knowing look because like they were starting to get into it.
Yeah, they'd stopped making jokes about things and started being like,
yeah, Campbelltown had like let them get out that, it tastes like whiskey and all that nonsense. And now they were actually starting to get into it a little bit, and they were like, oh, I'm getting this, I'm getting that. And it's like, here we go.
Yeah, you're in.
And it was just a glorious day as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just a really nice day. Like, if that had been an actual normal day, lashing it down, it'd have been awful. It'd have been the worst holiday ever.
Yeah, but because they're just the gods.
Because my superpowers worked.
Yeah. It worked
in Ireland as well. Yeah, exactly.
Turns out it's just Celtic nations apart from Wales.
It's my English blood dominating Celtic local gods.
Yeah. I mean, Wales, that just proves that Wales is obviously still England then, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Don't work here.
Okay, I'll tell you what the palate is. I have actually had my second sip, which is all you get out.
I'm going to say I finished mine now,
Yeah, but the texture of the spirit is beautiful, viscous and mellow. Melon and pear emerge, held beautifully by the oak and peat smoke. Crisp malt sweetness works well with oak, delivering beautiful hints of bourbon spices.
See that held word?
Yeah.
I think that works because it is like normally it's like you've got the other flavors and then the peat just overrides it immediately. But this, it feels like they actually hold each other quite well.
Yeah. Instead of a kickboxing fight where the peat is obviously 3 weight classes above, this is an actual grappling fight where they
exactly.
Not to,
Now bring it back to what you know. That's all right.
Yeah.
I'll issue my.
Do you want to give that a score?
Yeah. What's the name for that when it's like a tagline or a catchphrase?
Yeah.
Do you want to give that a score?
Yeah. I think that one's like a 3, maybe a 3.5, actually.
I'll go 3.5.
Yeah.
And that's really painful.
Yeah. Oh, Bear's coming to say hi. He's like, Dad, are you all right? I heard that.
Hello to him for me.
Hi, Bear. Josh says hi.
There you go.
Yeah. He's like, I heard over the grapevine that Josh is just given a 3.5 to his whiskey. I just need to come in and make sure that
something's wrong in the force.
The world hasn't ended.
Yeah. Well, as the first ever of the new Dram Team boxes, the special Dram Team boxes, I've got to say, despite the fact that a third of it was heavily peated, super excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm going to keep supporting this and hope it never dies. That's my...
yes. Yeah, I hope I die before the Dram Team does.
Yeah.
And if that means I have to drive a car off a cliff, Chris, if you can give me further notice.
Let me know.
so I can have someone I don't like in the passenger seat. That'd be great.
Good
By
idea.
the way, a friend from near Leeds, if I'm going to give you a lift, don't be suspicious.
Yeah, I haven't driven in. Like,
Just going to go over this high
50
cliff
years.
route. But yes, no, really good box as always. Good to try some new ones, and especially some of these ones that, like say, we'd have never tried otherwise because the price is just prohibitive, even at like a whiskey bar.
Yeah, I struggle to convince myself it's a good idea to buy a dram that's over a tenner, basically.
Yeah.
If I don't know, if it's not from a distillery that I'm like 9 times out of 10, this is a good plan. Like,
yeah.
Like basically, there's like a few. I'd probably get an Aberlour. I'd probably get. I mean, I don't. If someone showed up with a Glenmorangie,
Glenmorangie,
cost
big
over
fan
a
of.
tenner, I would be like, this must be something.
This must be pretty special for them to price it that high.
I think I've had a few Tamnavulans that have been pretty good.
Tamnavulan's pretty good.
I
like a Mortlach. Big fan of a Mortlach.
Mortlach are pretty good as well. Yeah. Auchentoshan.
The OGs.
I'd probably be willing to spring for. But outside of them, really.
Oh, Glen Scotia for me as well.
Oh, Glen Scotia, yeah. I would probably agree. I mean, I'm not as big into the saltiness, but they do make
good whiskey.
Very good whiskey. Let's be honest, right? We act like we hate them, but Balvenie probably have a.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I would definitely go for Balvenie as well. Yeah. They make crap tars, but really good whiskey.
They make apparently the fucking best to it. We're just not allowed to know. Apologies for the language, but it does boils my blood.
But yes, yeah. The reason we're so angry towards them is because we desperately want to do it.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like the most complete tour.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, as always, thank you very much for listening. And we will see you in the next episode where we carry on exploring these new Dram Team boxes.
Yeah. We can give a sneak preview of the name if you want.
No, we can't.
No.
Don't give them that.
Okay.
Otherwise, they'll not come back.
I gave you a clue. It's whiskey.
It's 6 whiskies.
And it's spelled for Y. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh. Right. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.